So yesterday we have seen like this. I said about what is a Flask. So I said it is a framework and it is a micro framework. And Django is a full stack framework and Flask is what here? Micro framework. I said about what is a Flask is. So Flask is a micro framework used for developing web applications or websites. You are using this for developing web applications or websites. Join. Now you can join, no problem. So after that, I said, what is the advantage of using a Flask? So Flask is a simple or easy. So it is come with some inbuilt web server and it is having its own URL routing system and it support REST API. It is having its own template engine, right? And then after that, I said, what are the basic steps for developing a Flask application? Now, Flask application is developed using MVT architecture only. But if you want to work with a Flask, so install the Flask by using a pip install Flask. After installing the Flask, so first thing is you have to create a program. So creating a program is nothing but creating one application. You join here. Okay, right? So creating a program is nothing but creating a web application. And you are creating a web application. See, Flask doesn't have its own project structure. Okay, you can create your own project structure. Like suppose if you are working with a Django, you create a project by using Django admin. If I say Django admin, if I say Django admin, what will happen? It will create a Django admin start project. When I say start a project and project name, what will happen? It will try to create one project structure. When this is having some inbuilt project structure. And after creating a project, within the project, you will try to create what application. After creating a project, what you do it, you create the application. And when you create an application, it will create inbuilt programs. So everything is done by whom? Django admin or manager.py, right? But when it comes to the Flask, you don't have that. You don't have that. So everything is done by whom? Programmer. So there is no project structure. There's no project structure where you create a project structure by using Django admin. Here you don't have that. If you want to develop any application, you directly write a program. Okay, every Python program is one application only. Every Python module is one application. Okay, you write a program and inside a program you create which application? Flask application. You are creating a Flask application by using the class. What is the name of the class is Flask. After creating a Flask application, you execute it. That's all. Yesterday we have seen only this. So how you are creating a Flask application by using a type. So let me tell you all these statements. The first statement, what you are writing is creating application, creating Flask application. Okay, this code I'm explaining it. What is each and every step is. Okay, the first step is anyway you are importing. The first step is you are importing which class? Flask class. You are importing Flask class. It is a class. This is a class. And using this class, you are creating what? Object. So creating a Flask object is nothing but creating what? Application. Creating Flask object is nothing but creating application. Okay. So the first step is you are creating application within program. So creating Flask application. How you are creating a Flask application? Okay, the first step is you are writing app. This variable name can be anything. App is what here? Variable name or object name. App is nothing but variable name or what? Object name. App equal to Flask. You write here Flask. And Flask underscore underscore name. You are writing a Flask underscore underscore name. So what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is, okay, so what is the meaning of this here? Now Flask is a class. Flask is a class. Flask is a class or data type. Flask is a class or data type used for creating, okay, Flask object. So creating a Flask object is nothing but creating. So creating Flask application. Creating a Flask application. And what is the meaning of underscore underscore name? Okay, you are creating a Flask. You are creating a Flask application in which module? You are creating a Flask application in which module? Which module? And that module name is referred with what here? Underscore underscore name. So what is underscore underscore name? Underscore underscore name is a predefined variable. Okay, this variable refers to this variable to refer to what here? Module, current module or module name. This variable refer to what name? Module name. Underscore underscore name. Suppose assume that okay, assume that so I'm writing one program. Okay, assume that I'm writing one program where I'm saying print. So print hello. I said print hello and print underscore underscore what here? Name. Are you created this variable name? No, you are not created this variable. This variable is already exists in one module. And what is the default module imported by Python program? Built-in module. What is the default module imported by Python program? Built-in module. Built-ins. What is the name of the module? Built-ins. DIR. So I think built-ins. So built-in underscore underscore. So this is imported automatically. What is the name of the module imported built-ins? You can say this is a module. So whenever you are using any function like print, suppose where is a print function is in? Print function is there in which module? Built-ins module. You are using input function. You are using ORD function. You are using octal function. You are using, okay, all these functions, right? But you are using these functions directly. You are using these functions directly without importing any module. You are using these functions directly without importing any module. Okay, when you are using this, where these are available in built-ins module, and in this there is one variable. What is the name of the variable is name. Okay, what is the name of the variable is name. Okay, so what will happen if I run this code? See, if you want to use any function, you import module. If you want to use any function, you import module. But for using a print function, are you importing any module? For using a print function, are you importing any module? No. For using a print function, you are not importing any module. For using input function, you are not importing any module. For using a list data type, set data type, frozen set data type, int data type, float data type, are you importing any module? No. You are not importing any module. But without importing module, how you are accessing it? Can you access it without importing a module? No. But this is one module which is imported automatically. Every Python program automatically import one module. And what is the name of that module is built-ins. Okay, but other modules you have to import explicitly by using which statement? Import statement, right? So whenever you run the programs here, underscore underscore name refers to the module name. Just to see here, when you run the program, so when I run the program, suppose when I run the program, so what is the name of the module is given? Main. Means where your Flask application is created in which module? Main module. Where your Flask application is created in which module? Main module. Okay, so I should tell the server where your Flask application is. Your Flask application is there in which module? Main module. Getting on not? Okay, suppose, okay, it is there in main module. That is refers to what here? Underscore underscore name. So it is a predefined variable that refers to the module name. So this tells what exactly you are telling. I'm creating a Flask application in main module. It means, okay, Flask application location is defined. Flask application is created in which module? Main module. It is created in which module? Main module. That is the default. Then after that, now what is the second step here? What is the second step here? You have written like this. You are written like this. This is what your function. This is one function. So you are developing application and you are developing a Flask application. The Flask application should perform some operation. Flask application is perform some operation. Okay. So Flask is which application? Web application. Whenever you say a web application performs or web application works on two things. One is request and one more is what? Response. Okay, request is nothing but input. Response is nothing but output. So there should be some program which should take the input, process it and generate what? Output. And what is that here? Function. Here you are saying it as a function and this is similar to a view. This is similar to what? View. This is similar. This function is what now? View. What is the responsibility of view? Receiving the input, processing it, and generating what? Output. But are you writing this in a separate program called views? No. You are not writing in a separate program called views. You are writing this as a part of what? Program only. As a part of your application only. You are not writing separately. You are not writing what? Separately. Now this is called which function? View function. This is called as which function? View function. And what is the responsibility of view function? Processing the input given by the client. Processing the input given by the client, that is the responsibility of view function. So created one function here. What is the name of the function? Home. Anything you can write it. Anything you can write it. Now second step is define define a function. Define a function and this function is which function? View function. You're developing a web application. Your application should perform some operations. You're developing a web application. You're developing a web application. Your application should perform some operation and where you are writing that operation in a function. So one application can have either one function or more than one function. One application can have either one function or more than one function, right? So define a function. This is called view function, which perform the operation performed by Flask application. So in this, the first statement is after writing a function, after writing the function, now what this function is generating output. What is the output is generating? Hello Flash. But when you are working with the Django, how you generate the output? by using a function called render, by using a class called HTTP response. But here I'm not using any of that because that is done by whom? Flask server only. I don't require to use HTTP response. It will convert this output into which format? HTML format. So that is HTTP response, not done by you. It is done by which one? Server. But a function or a view is a server-side program. How this program will be called? By using URL mapping. By using URL mapping. And there is no separate file. Like in Django, URL mapping is done in separate file called urls.py. You do URL mapping in a separate file. And what is the name of the file? urls.py. urls.py. Okay, you are using a separate file called urls.py. But here I'm not using any separate file. Here I'm not using any separate file. I'm not using any separate file, but this URL mapping is done by using a decorator. And what is the name of the decorator is? A route. Routing system is there. Now this is a decorator. So decorator uses what? Adding some extra functionality to the existing function or adding some extra functionality to the existing classes, right? So you have a class decorators and you have what? Function decorators. Okay. So what is the name of the decorator? Route. Okay. So after defining function, why you write a function? To perform operation. Your Flask application is performing what? Operation. That you represented by writing one function. That you represented by writing one function. So what is the name of the function? Home, right? So after defining function, okay, this function, after defining function, so this function is accessed by client. This function is accessed by the client using URL. And this URL mapping is done using at the rate, at the rate, at the rate, route decorator. So there is a decorator called at the rate, route decorator. It is a decorator of which object? Flask application object, right? So APP refers to what? Or what is APP refers to? Application. Which application? Flask. Okay, it means inside this class you find one decorator, and what is the name of the decorator is route. So URL routing or URL mapping is done by using route. It means you are trying to access it by using a public name. You can give a name here. You can give a name. What you can do? So for example, if you are writing app.route slash, means you are accessing by using what? Slash. If I'm writing at the rate app.route, I can just give. Okay, what I can say, suppose if I'm writing a home, it means you are accessing it by using what name? Home. Okay, at the rate app.route. Okay, I'm writing like suppose first, I'm accessing this home by using what name? First. So first is what? URL. And whenever I say first, it is calling which function? Home. How client is calling the home? By using first. How client is calling the home? By using home. How client is calling this function? By without giving anything. Without giving anything is nothing but slash. Without giving anything is nothing but what? Slash. Right? Yes. Then after that, third step is okay, if name double equal to main. Okay, if name double equal to main, okay. That is nothing but installing web application or installing application within server, installing application within server. Generally, how you install the application within server in Django, you write in settings.py. In settings.py, you find installed apps and where you install the application. Yes or no? Then after that, you run the server by saying python manage.py run server. But here you don't have any tool. You don't have any tool. How you install the application and run the server? By using one simple command, by invoking one method within the program itself. Within the program itself, you are trying to install and run the server by saying app is what? Here app is referring to which application? Flask application. App refers to which application? Flask application, and run is a method. So what run is doing? What run is doing? It is trying to install your application within the server. It is trying to install the application within the server. But before installing, it will run the server and then install the application. And you are saying your debug equal to true. What is the meaning of debug equal to true? If I am writing a debug, if I am writing a debug equal to true, if I am writing a debug equal to true, this indicates that run the server in which mode? Debugging mode. Run server, run server, run server in which mode? Debugging mode. What is the meaning of this? Okay, running the server in debugging mode. What is the meaning of this? So whenever you do changes in your application, the server restart again. The server restart again. So that is what you mean by debug equal to what? True. But what is the default debug value is false. The default debug value is the default debug value is what here? False. Means whenever you do changes in your application, whenever you do changes in application, what will happen? Your server is restarted or not restarted? Not restarted. Okay. But if you want to restart it, okay, then you have to say debug equal to what? True. But before writing debug equal to true, now there is one condition is written. What is the condition is written? If name double equal to main, if name, one condition is written. If name, okay, name double equal to main. If name double equal to main. So what is the name? Variable. What is main? Value. What is name? Variable. What is main? Value. If the value of name equal to main, run the application. If the value of name is not main, don't run the application. What is the meaning of this is, what is the meaning of this is, okay, what is the meaning of name main is, name is a variable and what is the value of name is, it can be a main, it can be what? Module name. It can be a name or it can be what? Program name. You save the program, right? You save the program with some name. You save the program with name, right? You save the program with some name. You save the program with some name. Just here. Here, I write a function one. Okay. I write a function one. So print what here? Hello. I write a function one and I said here print hello. Right? Save it. I save in one place. And what is the name I've given? M1. What is the name of this program? M1. And this M1 is having one function. What is the name of the function? Function 1, right? Okay. Then I call the function 1. Tell me what is the output? What is the output? Hello. What is the output? Hello. Okay, right? Because we call the function 1. I'm writing another module. I'm writing another module. This is one more module. Okay. Import. What is that module I imported? M1. I imported M1 module. In this, I write another function called function 2. So print, I'm writing here print what is it? By. I call the function 2. Now tell me, if I run this program, what is the output I'll get? Hello, bye. You'll get how many outputs you'll get? If I run this M2 program, what is the output? Hello and bye. Hello and bye or only bye? Only, only bye. But hello and bye, right? So what is the output? Only bye or hello and bye? Hello and bye. Not only bye. Not only bye. So you can see hello and one more is what? Bye. It means whenever you import any module, what will happen? You are importing this M1 module, right? When you import this M1 module, whatever executable statements are there, it execute all those statements. It will execute all the statements. How many executable statements in this program? How many? How many executable statements? One. How many executable statements? One. When you're importing this program into this program, it will execute all executable statements. This program is executed as a part of which module? M2 module. But I don't want. When I import, I should not execute this function 1. When I import, I should not execute this function 1. When I import this module in another module, I should not execute which one? Function 1. But when I run this program, then it should execute what? Function 1. But when I import this module in another module, it should not call what? Function 1. Then what do you do it? You write. You write one condition here. If underscore underscore name, if underscore underscore name double equal to what? Underscore underscore main. So when the value of name is main, if you run this program individually, if you run this program individually, the value of name is what? Main. When you run this program individually, the value of name is what? Main. If I run this program, what is the value of name is? Main. Now it is called hello. What will happen if I import it? What will happen if I import it? If I import this program inside this program, then what is the value of name is? Not main. What is the value of name is not main. What is the value of name is? M1. What is the value of name is? M1. So M1 is equal to main? No. Then we'll call this function? No. So why you write this condition? Now you can see only which message? By. Okay, when you import one module inside another module, when you import one module inside what? Another module, you don't want this module should be executed inside this module. You don't want this module should be executed inside this module. Then how can you avoid that? By writing one condition. How can you avoid that? By writing one condition. And what is that condition is? Underscore underscore name equal to underscore underscore main. You can, if you want, you print it. So print value of underscore underscore what? Name. Underscore underscore name. Very good. Run the module. What is the value of name is main. Okay, now import this. You run the second module. What is the name? M1. So condition is a true or false? False. Then we'll call the function or not call the function? Not call the function. Okay. So the condition become false here. Okay. In that case, you write one condition. What is the condition you are writing? If underscore underscore name double equal to main. What is the use of this condition? You don't want to run the application when you import this module into another module. If you import this module into another module, you don't want this application should run inside what? That module. To avoid that, you are writing one condition. What is that condition? Underscore underscore name equal to underscore underscore main. When you are importing, you don't want this application should run inside what? That application. Reusability is there. Suppose the functions are the views what you write in one application, you can use in what? Another. How you can use it? By importing it. By importing it, right? Then you don't want this application should be run inside what? That application. You want to use the functions. You don't want to run it. You want to use the functions, but you don't want to run. Then how can you avoid that? By writing one simple condition. What is that condition you are writing? Underscore underscore name equal to underscore underscore main. So this condition is to avoid to avoid what? Running the application when imported inside what? Another what? Program. Another program or another module. Another program or another module. Understood? Avoid when imported inside another program or module. Okay, you write a condition that is underscore underscore name equal to underscore underscore main. So this is what we have done yesterday. Understood? So all the statements you understood, right? Okay. So you don't create any request. You don't create any what? Response. These objects are created automatically. These objects are created what? Automatically. It is not that much complicated than which one? Django. It is very easy and configuring is also very easy and developing also very easy, right? So then next is this statement's clear, right? Huh? So you can give different URLs. Okay, you can declare different URLs, right? If name underscore underscore name equal to underscore underscore what? Main, right? So you can define your own URLs. You can define your own URLs. See the yesterday's. Okay, now here what is a given? Slash. Instead of giving slash, what I'm saying is, first, what I'm writing here, first. Means whenever I want to call this view function, I'm calling this view function with what name? First. What is first is URL as a public URL. First is nothing but public URL. Save it. Run the server, run the program Python application 1.py slash beginning also you have a slash here. So run the server. Now your server is running by installing your application. Say server serving Flask application 1, but who's serving Flask application 1 server, and your server is running on which port number? 5000. I can change this port number. I'll tell you how to change the port number, right? Okay. Now the request is sender and is saying that it is not found. Which one is not found? Empty is not found. You have to call it by using what name? What name? First. And what is the output is? Hello Flash. Correct or not? So you can give any name, but that name should be prefix and suffix with what here? Slash and slash. Right? So whenever you talk about any application, the application consists of three logics. Okay. Every application, every web application, every web application is divided into how many layers? Three layers. One is presentation layer. Second one is what? Persistent layer. And third one is business logic layer. Okay, business logic layer. Okay, so that is MVT, model view and template. So every web application is divided into three layers: presentation layer, persistent layer, and business logic layer. So presentation layer responsible in giving input and giving input and giving what? Output. Okay. So in web application development, in web application development, so presentation is done using what? Templates. And this template generally you call it as which one? HTML. This template is called as an HTML. This template is called as a HTML. Is done using a templates. And this template is nothing but what? HTML. Getting on it. Suppose you take any website, so facebook.com. Now this is called which one? Template. You give the input, enter the email ID, enter the password, and click on login. When you click on login, this input is given to which program? Backend program. And what is your backend program is? Flask. In this case, what is your backend is? Flask. In the previous case, what is your backend is? Django. Getting or not? Which one is receiving that input? That input is received by which function? View function. That input is received by which function? View function. And after receiving the input, it will process that input and generated by output. But output is again in the form of HTML. So HTML is for both. HTML is for both input as well as output. The second one is persistent layer. Persistent layer. Second one is a persistent layer. Persistent layer. Now this is every web application required to store data permanently. Generally, you store the data permanently within database. Now, persistent layer is responsible to communicate with database. Persistent layer, persistent layer is responsible to communicate with what here? Database. But how it communicate with the database? Using ORM. It communicate with the database using ORM. Now Django is having inbuilt ORM called Django ORM. Django is having inbuilt ORM called Django ORM. But is it Flask is having any inbuilt ORM? No. I should use third party ORMs. I should use third party ORM to communicate with what? Database. To communicate with the database. Okay. Right. The next one is a business logic layer. Business logic layer. Now this is responsible for both. Okay, communicating with the presentation layer and communicating with what? Persistent layer. Business logic layer. It is a responsible, its responsibility is, its responsibility is to receive input given by whom? Client. And processing it by communicating with, communicating with, by communicating with, by communicating with a database and template. By communicating with the database and what? Template. It is a view function. It is a view function. So one application may contain either one view function or more than one view. One application may contain either one view function or more than one view, right? So there are presentation layer, persistent layer, and business logic layer. Now let me tell you how to develop which layer? Presentation. Presentation is nothing but what? Templates. Now templates. Let me tell you about, yes, I think this you understood. Bolo yaar. This program you understood, right? So generally you never write the things inside what here? View. You write everything inside what? Template. You write everything inside a template. Okay. Yes. Now working with working with what? Templates. So what is a template? Template is an HTML. Template is an HTML file. Template is an HTML file. And template is a server side program. Template is a server side program. Template is a collection of template is a collection of which tags? HTML tags and and which tags? And which tags? And which tags? Template tags. And which tags? Template tags. And these template tags are developed by using one rules and regulations. And what is that rules is? Okay, what is that rules or abstracts? You call it as Jinja 2. Even Django also uses same rules and regulations. I mean, whatever template tags you find in Django, all the template tags you find in what? Flask. Because both uses same template engine. It means they develop it by following the same rules and regulations. Template is a collection of HTML tags and template tags, and template is render at which side? Server side by template engine, template engine provided by which one? Flask server, provided by Flask server. Flask server, because it is which program? Server side program. It is a server side program, and this program is executed at which side? Server side, and output is given to whom? Client. So always HTML is creating a web pages or not? Yes. But template is a static or dynamic? Dynamic. Template is a dynamic web page. Template is a dynamic. Template is what? Dynamic web page. Dynamic web page. What is dynamic web page? Whose content will not be the same for all users. Whose content will not be the same for every request. Whose content changes from one request to another. Right? So that you can call it as dynamic web page. Then how to create a template? Where you create a template, is it having any structure? No. In your project folder only, create one folder. In your project folder only, you create one folder. Or you can add directly in the project only. You can add it directly in which folder? Project folder. Or you create a separate folder. You add it directly in which folder? Project folder, or you create a separate folder. Create a separate folder or add inside a project folder. Okay. Yes. Create a folder. Here I created one folder called which one? Templates. I created folder called templates. I created one folder called templates. Okay, right? Okay, right. Now I said Jinja 2 is render which tags HTML, not template tags. Jinja 2 render which tags template tags. So rendering is a process of converting into a string. Okay, it will convert into what? One string. And that string is put in HTTP response. HTTP response. And that HTTP response is given to browser. And browser will render which tags? HTML tags. In order to render HTML tags at what? Browser required a parser or not? Yes. So you find different parsers in browser or not? Yes. So there is a client side parsers. There is what? Server side parsers are engines. Okay. So browser is having an engine. You find no like Chakra engine, something, V8 or something like. So all these are what? HTML parsers. These are called HTML engines. Because who will execute HTML tags? Who will execute HTML tags? HTML tags executed by browser. So to execute HTML tags by the browser, what it required? What it required? Engine. Which engine it required? HTML engine. So HTML parsers. Okay, but who will develop all these HTML parsers? Who will develop? Who will develop HTML parsers? Who develop HTML parsers? HTML parsers developed by the person who developed browser. The person who developed browser, he developed which parsers? HTML parsers. But how they develop it? Somebody should define the rules, right? Who will define the rules? W3C. Who define the rules? W3C. Yes or no? They dictate certain rules and regulations. Whatever changes in HTML, CSS, all these are maintained by whom? W3C. Who maintains JavaScript? Who maintains the JavaScript? Who maintains HTML? W3C. Who maintains the CSS? W3C. Who maintains the Python? PSF. PSF. Python Software Foundation. Huh? Then who maintains the JavaScript versions? W3C, huh? No. Who is that? No problem. Find out. No problem. No problem. यार क्या करना है मालूम नहीं रहे तो पता कर लेना बस उतना ही. eh? You should not do anything. eh? Who is that? Netscape. Netscape. Netscape, huh? Netscape only. No. Netscape. हाँ देखो देख के बोलो मेरे को फिर. हाँ नो प्रॉब्लम. मैं कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा यार. I will not criticize any faculty. I will not criticize any faculty. You understood? मेरा बात समझ में आया? हाँ डीप में जाओ. हाँ You go in deep. I'll not criticize any faculty. I'll not tell anything about any faculty. Huh? Because faculty is faculty only. Huh? You understood? Go in deep. बोला मैं डीप में जाके सोचो. हाँ? सर नो गॉट इट. जल्दी समझ में आता है यार आप लोग. हाँ? Okay, right. Who developed Flask? Satish Gupta only. Who developed Python? Me only. Huh? I'll change it. Author name I'll change here. I'll put my name. Because I developed Python. I developed Flask. I developed Django. In future I want to change the names. Huh? Yes or no? Huh? क्या यार? Right. See this one. Templates. Templates are there. Right? Write it. Inside the template. Uh, नको गिराओ यार. Uh, template में जाओ यार. Uh, create. You know how to create a template, right? Okay, just create one template. Not same name. Index. Okay. Index dot html. Okay. Index is there. Okay, right. Now here, write something. So this is my first template. This is my first template, right? Yes. Done this. Now how can I use this template in my application? How to use this template? What is the template is? Index.html. I want to use this template in my application. I don't want to return. I don't want to return HTTP response, but I want to return HTTP response by rendering what? Template. Then how can I render a template? By using one function called render template. What is the name of the function? Render template. So there is a function called render template. So this will return what? A response. This will return the response, right? Render a template and then give the path. So I'm just writing here slash. Okay, slash refers to relative path. Relative to which program? Application 1. Okay, slash. What I'm using slash. What is the name of the folder? Templates slash index.html. Index dot what? HTML, right? So whenever I save it, automatically it will restart the server. Whenever I save changes, automatically it restart the server. You don't require to run the application again and again, right? So whenever you do changes, it will start the application, server again by installing it. When? If the debug equal to true. If the debug is not true, then what will happen? It will not apply the changes. It will not apply the changes. Okay, when you save it, even though you save it, you have to stop the server and then you have to start again. You have to stop the server and you have to start again. Okay, now this will return what it returns here? A response. And this response I'm giving to whom? Client. This response I'm giving to the client, right? So now, so what is the name of this is first template not found is saying. So jinja2 dot exception dot template not found. So template is there or not there? There. Okay, but what is saying? It is saying it is not found. Okay, slash templates index dot html. I just remove slash here. Templates index dot html. And again send a request. Not there. Huh? Dot. Why dot? I said dot. Saying that it is not there. Template not found. Template index dot html. Where it is there in project one. So project one refers to uh, what is the project one? Dot. What dot refers to current directory? Dot refers to current directory. Okay. Not like that here. A render template. Slash templates. We'll just check this. What is the problem is render template. What happened? Project one template index dot html. Template. Why you import template here? It is a static. Not saved. Okay, what is the name of the URL? First, what happened here? Simple. Index dot html. How you are doing it? Render template. What is the name of the function is? Render template. So this function is try to render the template, means it will convert into HTTP response. Okay. So render template. Suppose you have index.html. So render template. Template name index.html. Same. Why it is not recognizing? So what is the name of the template here? Index.html. index.html. Now you can see this is my first template. Now here always you have to store the template into which folder here? Templates folder. Okay. Because what default it is searching for this index.html is in which folder it is searching in? Templates folder. And in templates folder, which one is there? Index.html. Nothing you have to do it. You have to create. What folder you have to create? A templates folder. Okay. So working with the templates, first what you have to do? Create which folder? Templates folder. So you have to write the with the same name. You have to write with the same name. Okay, because you don't require to give the path. It will search directly into which folder? Templates folder. Okay. Create templates folder. Name of the folder, name of the folder must be same. Name of the folder must be what? Same. What is the name of the folder is? Templates. You don't require to import anything. Okay. So name of the folder must be the same. Okay. And inside that, I created one template. And what is the template I created? Index.html. So what is the name of this template? Index.html. And you render this template within the view or application. Go to the application and you are using one function here. What is the name of the function you are using? So this is inside. This is inside application. Inside application, how you are rendering this template? By using a function called render template. Render template. Render template is a inbuilt function. It is an inbuilt function of a Flask module. What this function do? This function render template and convert into which one? HTTP response. HTTP response. It will return what here? HTTP response. It will return HTTP response because in web application development, the client server communication is done by using which protocol? HTTP. Okay, now you are returning a response, but render template returns which response type? HTTP response, right? So render template function, render template function always search for template inside which folder? Templates folder only. So not required to define any path. Not required to define any path. Okay, right? So who will execute this template? Jinja 2 engine, right? That is at which side? Server side. It is not a client side application. It is which application? Server side. Okay, right? So this is how you are inserting template within the view by using a function called render. Okay. Yes. But whenever you are writing a function, this function is with parameters or without parameters? Without parameters. Now, if you want, you can send data from a view function to what? Template. You can send the data from view function to what? Template as an arguments. As what? Arguments. Suppose if you want to send data from view function to the template, you'll be using context parameter. In Django, you are using context, but here you are using name, where you can send values as a pair, key and value only. Okay, but you are sending directly to which one? Template by using render template function. See, there is a render template and there is a render template as a string. Render template as a string, and you can create HTTP response object by wrapping which one? String and send as a part of response. But most of the times you'll go for render template because this itself written which object? Response object. Yes, itself written which object? Response object. Okay, right? So let me, yeah, yes. Then there is, now this function doesn't have any parameter, right? This function, this is view function, right? This view function doesn't have any parameter. It doesn't have any parameter. But if you are working with the Django, it required one parameter or not? Yes. What is that required parameter? Request. What is the required parameter? Request. Request is there. Required parameter is what? Request. But is it any request is there here? No. So this request object, a request object. Now you are not creating a request object. The request object is created by Flask server. Request object is created by Flask server and it is available to what? Application. It is available to what? Application. Request object is created by whom? Server. It means whenever you send a request to a view function, your server automatically create which object? A request object. And that request object you can use directly within what? View function. You don't require to give any parameters. You don't require to give any parameters. It is an implicit object. A request is an implicit object. A request is an implicit object. Is an implicit object means you don't create this object. This object is created by whom? Server and send it to what? View function. This object, this object is this object is created by server and available in available within what? View function. Available within view function. But is it sending to the view function? No, it is not sending to the view function. Means this is a global object or not? Yes. Request is which object? Global object. But how many view functions I can call at a time? Only one. You send a request to only one view. But request is which object? Global object. And this object is global. Global means can you use directly or not? Yes. Suppose in Python you write like this. X equal to 100 and y equal to 200 and I write a function 1. Okay. So inside the function 1, I can access X and Y directly or not? Yes. Okay. But I can access X and Y directly because X and Y are which variables? Global variables. And global variables can be accessed directly within the function. Right? In the same way, your application is having one global object. What is that global object is? Request object. Your application is having one global object and what is that object is? A request object and this request object I can use directly within what? Function. I can use this request object directly within function. But whereas Django, every view is having a request object that is local. That request is what here? Local. But here request is what? Global. Here request is a global. Their request is what? Local. There it is local, but here it is what? Global. It is available at which level? Application level. But request always local to one view. Getting on. So request contain the input given by whom? Client. And the request is exist until response is generated. Once the response is generated, this object is get what? Deleted. Means I'm not I'm not defining any parameter with the view function. It is automatically created by whom? Server. It is automatically created by server and it makes that request object as what here? Global. Right? So request is an implicit object and this object is created by server and available within view function. Right? And so whenever you send a request by using various methods. So there is a get method, there is post method. Okay, right? If you are working with APIs, use get method, post method, put method, delete method, right? So how you define the request methods at the time of defining URL. At the time of defining URL, how you define the URL? Route. What is the name of the decorator? Route URL, comma. What is this? Methods. These are nothing but request methods. You want to send a request using which method? Now this view, this function allows how many request methods? Two request methods. One is a get and one more is what? Post. One is a get and one more is what? Post, right? Yes. We'll talk about this, how to work with this request methods and how to get the input and how to process it. And then I'll tell you how to communicate with the database using models, right?